The next step, after having drawn the exterior walls, is to draw the demising walls that separate the spaces from the corridors, from the spaces from the corridors, and the corridors are a continuous path to and from the stairwells. So the stairwells are enclosed in 2-hour construction. The corridors need to be 1-hour construction. Let's select the CAD underlay and show how to change some of the properties of this imported drawing so that we can see more clearly the outline of the walls, which are currently in yellow. If I click on any edge of the CAD file, we can see that it's selectable, but not very legible. So if I go into visibility graphics, I can modify what are grouped in imported categories, so that the AutoCAD underlays are these drawings here. If I expand, for example, the first floor drawing, we'll see that it reveals the AutoCAD layers, and I can override the layer colors. In this case, I want to take the walls and make them something that I can easily see. Let's override. Let's make them a slightly heavier line weight and make them this blue color. If I didn't select the correct instance of the CAD underlay, I'll have to do this for the other file as well. Hit apply. That didn't do anything. Let's select the other one. This one. Walls. Sometimes a previous reference to the file will persist. I've selected all the wall layers. Override, line weight value, and a blue color. Hit OK, OK, and apply. So you'll see all the walls now are in a blue color that we can see. In drawing the demising walls, all I'm interested are the walls that connect the stairwells together. I'm not interested in the walls that surround the bathroom or the walls within the spaces. So we're proceeding hierarchically, one system at a time. Now let us come up with a wall type for the demising wall. Let's base it on a generic 6-inch wall, and I'll describe it as I modify this. We're going to edit this type, duplicate it, and say demising wall type 5. It's arbitrary. The name is arbitrary, but you should assign it something meaningful. The demising wall, we know from previous study, that its structure is, at its core, it's got some metal stud. So let's assign 3 5/8 inch metal stud to the middle layer. We'll select metal. And we need a layer on the inside and outside of the core layer. And 1-hour construction by definition is 5/8 type X gypsum board. We're going to assign that material to some wallboard. Here as well. Okay, and it calculates the thickness of the wall for you. So it's 4 7/8. Sometimes another ½ inch will make up between the core boundary and change these to finish, by the way. We're not doing energy modeling, so it isn't going to make a big difference, but we might as well use labels that are correct. Sometimes we, for sound isolation purposes, use on the sound source side, so the inside of the corridor might have a ½ inch layer of resilient channel. So we would reserve a ½ inch for it on one side of the wall. But we're just using this very simple wall type now. That should suffice. Okay. I'm going to draw from level 1, top constraint, to level 2. Notice the unconnected height is set for me there. And I'm going to use this location line. Well, you have a 50-50 chance of picking the right side, so let's leave it at finished face exterior and see in which direction we need to draw. So I'm going to draw from this elevator core to the stairwell here. Let's see if it's the wrong way. So finished face exterior wants to be on the left side. And here all I'm doing is connecting is drawing around the outline of the corridor wall. Here I'm going to continue. Now we're going to take some liberties because we're not making changes to the corridors, and the CAD file is not necessarily perfect. The object of this is to draw walls that connect the stairwells together, that link them in corridors that protect traffic, people from fire for 1 hour. So if you follow along, it'll become clear. I'm going to continue to draw demising wall. Alright, so I'm going around the edges of this. I'm going to ignore the thickness indicated by the CAD drawing here. The important thing is that I draw a complete, continuous series of walls. You don't stop for doors, because doors are hosted by the walls and they're inserted into the Revit walls later. I'm stopping at the vertices. I'm continuing until I connect the corridor to the next stairwell. Don't worry about these unusual wall joins that happen. We will correct them in a later lesson. I'm going to start drawing the opposite direction here. We will need at some point to change the phase of the walls. We'll talk about phase filtering later, to existing. So Revit allows you to assign a phase to walls as either existing or new construction. Existing is indicated by, you'll see these elevator walls are slightly ghosted in gray, and any wall that is new construction, whenever you draw a wall, it defaults to new construction. It's indicated in this dark outline. So if I select the wall, you'll see if I scroll down, it says phase created new construction. If I select an elevator wall, which is already there, phase created existing. If that wall were to be demoed, I would indicate phase demolished, the phase in which, the time period in which that wall is to be demoed. And it would graphically represent a wall with the conventions that architecture uses for representing walls that are demoed. They are outlined with dashed lines. Let's continue. I'm going to finish drawing the corridor wall. This is for the first floor, and then I'm going to start a separate drawing for the second floor corridor walls. Nope, wrong direction. Notice that I am going around, I'm not drawing the bathroom or any of these closets. I'm circumscribing the space that defines the corridors. Keep that in mind as you're drawing these walls. You're only defining the corridor areas. Think of it like this. If you were to drop a paint bucket, gallons and gallons of paint into that space, would these walls enclose that paint in such a way that it would fill only the area circumscribed by the demising walls? Finally, I think I have one more wall to draw. One more series of walls to draw. I'm actually going to, these are probably furring walls that are around the column, so I'm just going to go past those. And the building itself, those are finished off with some kind of decorative columns. We'll show you in the photographs. And once I have completed these, now notice I have kind of an unusual condition. This is an imperfection in the CAD file, so I'm just going to go a little bit past the wall here and then make sure that I intersect the stairwell wall, so this becomes a complete system. I'm going to stop here and make this available for you guys to download if you want.